This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on the South Today, snow has closed roads and grounded flights across the south, but is providing some school holiday fun. Labour Party leader Jacinda Ardern wasn't put off by the late winter blast though, promising help for Tiwai Point. And from the Jurassic period to present day, a new Otago Museum exhibit opens ahead of schedule. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Simon Anderson. Heavy snow is falling in parts of the south as a cold snap bites. It's closed major roads, trapping motorists and cancelling or delaying flights in and out of Queenstown and Invercargill. And more is on the way.
Snow blanketed many parts of the south from early today and by late morning was falling in Dunedin. The New Zealand Transport Agency is warning drivers to be cautious on State Highway 1 from Waitati to Palmerston due to snow. There are road closures and warnings in place as much of central Otago is resembling a winter wonderland, with parents in Wanaka enjoying snow on the hills with their kids.
It's exciting, it's cool, it's awesome, makes everyone smile.
As their children enjoy sliding around, they say this is new for them.
No, it's our first snow experience on the ground.
The Transport Agency is advising people to delay travel on State Highway 6 between Kingston and Queenstown today as it's snowing heavily, especially in the Jollies Hill area. The Milford Road, SH94, is closed from Park Boundary to West Gate due to strong wind and heavy driving snow. Clearing the highway is underway. The Met Services weather cam for Leith Saddle on the Northern Motorway shows snow settling on the road. Snow showers are expected to affect the Northern Motorway between Dunedin and Waitati from today and throughout tomorrow, with up to 6 centimetres of snow predicted. Across the south today.
Beating bad weather and brushing aside COVID-19 meant the annual Alexandra Blossom Festival went ahead as usual on Saturday. It's estimated more than 10,000 people attended one of the first large-scale events in the country after the latest round of COVID-19 restrictions were lifted. About 15,000 people enjoyed the Alexandra Blossom Festival Saturday. The annual event is the mainstay in central Otago and was able to go ahead after the COVID-19 alert level status was dropped to level 1, meaning few restrictions on gatherings. And perhaps another first, police reported no arrests associated with the event. Organisers were nervous about a predicted weather bomb, but Martin McPherson says the stars aligned and the event was a huge success. Other events accompanied the festival parade, including wood chopping. Cold and wet weather didn't stop New Zealand's Prime Minister from visiting Invercargill as part of her campaign trail before next month's election. Her party is promising to keep the nearby smelter on life support for the next few years if elected.
Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern visited Invercargill today to talk with Southland community leaders about issues facing the region. One of her stops was a temporary museum displaying information on Invercargill's CBD rebuild, with the first shop in the new development expected to open its doors in 2 years' time. The Labour Party has promised to keep Southland's Tiwai Point smelter on life support for another 3 years.
It's our intention that we will see a negotiation with Rio Tinto for an exit of between 3 and 5 years.
If re-elected, the party says it would work to reduce the amount of money the smelter pays for electricity, because the cost of power is cited as a major reason why Rio Tinto is closing the plant. But the government says if the smelter wants cheaper power, it does need to maintain the current level of employment at the site. In the meantime, a Labour-led government is also promising to transition Southland's economy to greener jobs.
The chance here exists with this extra time that we are working towards to develop alternative options that are being floated, such as hydrogen, data centres. Of course, there's huge potential around aquaculture and even food production, such as oat milk, all being investigated and pursued in this region.
Following their meeting with Ardern, several community leaders said they were feeling optimistic that delaying the closure of the smelter is achievable and that effective transition plans for creating new jobs in Southland can be implemented.
Look, I think it's very positive that they've committed to a 3 to 5 year transition plan for Southland, and now we've got the support of all the parties to facilitate that. That gives confidence for the workers at TY and the Southland economy.
I'm always optimistic, and look, I think that there is certainly a will to make a difference, and we'll encourage that as much as we possibly can.
Well, I think it's a great outcome because it gives a degree of certainty in the future. I know they've got to win the next election first, but the promises they've made will certainly help the situation.
It's estimated the closure of the smelter will see the loss of more than 2,500 direct and indirect jobs in the region. In Invercargill, the South Today.
Firefighters with specialist climbing equipment have been required to retrieve a person trapped in a vehicle down a bank in Leith Valley. Emergency services were called to the Dunedin suburb early this afternoon after a car slipped off the road in wet conditions. 2 people were initially thought to be trapped in the vehicle. Police say the car was about 4 metres down a bank, resting above a creek in a precarious position. One person had since been able to get themselves out by another needed to be rescued by firefighters using climbing ropes. St John assessed 2 patients at the scene, both with minor injuries. Dinosaurs have taken over Otago Museum, bellowing and lunging at visitors who dare to come too close. They'll be there for the next 4 months for the Dinosaur or a Revolution exhibition, which opened on Saturday.
Creative Design Services Officer Shania Allen isn't too intimidated by this 70-million-year-old Therizinosaurus, which is now making itself at home at the Otago Museum. The newly arrived Dinosaur Revolution exhibition also has plenty of other creatures on display to startle museum visitors.
The exhibition has 4 animatronic dinosaurs, which definitely are the draw card. The kids are going to either love them or hate them. They're a bit scary, especially old T-Rex behind me here. We've got skeletons, so they're casts of actual dinosaurs, and they were really tricky to put together and way bigger than I imagined, so yeah, they're pretty impressive.
However, the exhibition is not just about entertainment, but also education.
The show sort of goes into a wee bit about the evolution and what scientists and paleontologists sort of uncover with new fossils. So the belief now is that dinosaurs did have feathers and quills. Of course they had armour as well, so it's a bit of artist's interpretation, and you can see that in the exhibition. It's all sort of about their evolution, and you learn quite a bit about them.
Dunedin is the only South Island venue for this exhibition, which was originally created by Gondwana Studios in Australia and was assembled quickly by about 10 museum staff so as to be open in time for the start of the school holidays.
It's taken us 5 days, so it arrived in Dunedin on Sunday and the team was straight into it Monday morning, and we've had a few late nights to try and get it open as quickly as we could in time for the school holidays.
The Dinosaur Revolution exhibition runs until the 8th of February, and during these school holidays there'll be additional science demonstrations for youngsters 3 times a day. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Still to come on the South Today, news on some of Dunedin's bigger buildings. We cover construction issues at the University of Otago, and we'll see how repair work is progressing at St Paul's Cathedral. Ka kite a koe nei.
Hi, our Campbell Menswear. We're back in George Street on the corner of Hanover Street. Come and check out our big store. It's a big space full of bargains. Now look at these shirts. There's shirts for everybody here. Look at these MERINO pullovers, stacks of moleskins, literally tons of trousers. Check out these big racks of sports jackets. Beautiful.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
So come and check out Alex Campbell Menswear. We're back on George Street in the old ANZ building.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
You've seen us in the street, now find us online. Check out shopon.org.nz. We have all sorts of treasures, from retro and vintage clothing to antiques, homewares and accessories. New items added every week. We're open 24/7.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Hoki mai anō. Much of the University of Otago's building program could be put off for 3 or 4 years due to government funding. The government has rejected all 5 of the university's shovel-ready projects applications. As fallout from COVID-19 dented the affordability of the university's program, it was hoped the government would pitch in with financial support. All of the projects would have directly supported more than 500 jobs when underway. It was projected the university's building plan over the next 12 years would have generated over $2 billion for the national economy. Church services are still being held in Dunedin's St Paul's Cathedral despite extensive scaffolding set up inside the building. The building is undergoing repairs following a fire in the roof last month.
Looking almost like a work of modern art, a 20-metre high scaffolding tower has been built inside Dunedin's St Paul's Cathedral so as to repair recent damage to the roof caused by a fire in mid-August.
As you can see, St Paul's is looking a little bit different now that we've started to get some of the scaffolding up. It has been a bit of a rough month or two for us. And we've been really grateful that everyone's sort of rallied round and shown support.
Several rows of wooden pews have been removed to create a space for worship, which pretty much matches the footprint of the original 100-year-old church before it was expanded in the early 1970s.
And in the meantime, we're shrunk down to this slightly smaller, the older building, the original 1919 building.
A large plastic membrane is to be placed over the cathedral's organ to protect it from dust during construction work. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Brighton residents and school children posed for an aerial photograph last week. The image they created spelled out their opposition to a proposed landfill in the hills behind the township.
More than 100 pupils from the local primary school in Brighton gathered with local residents last week to spell out that they did not want a landfill in their backyard. The protest was organised by Sasha Turner, who has been living in Brighton for the last 5 years.
We're very, very passionate about this area. It's a strong community and it's a good community. However, we feel really let down by the DCC. This landfill should not be going ahead. It's a ludicrous location for it.
The proposed landfill at Smooth Hill in the range behind the township is to replace Dunedin's current landfill at Green Island, which is due to have its consent expire in 3 years' time. The creek flowing through Brighton has a branch which originates within the proposed new landfill site.
You know, it just takes a minimal amount of time, if there was any leaching, to come down from the landfill down to the swimming area. And that's not what we want our children to swim in.
Turner says many locals are angry and frustrated with what they see as a lack of consultation by the City Council.
And to be fair, I don't think we are satisfied with how our voice has been heard. The council have been, what I would say, very sneaky and underhand in the application of this consent.
The Smooth Hill site, bordered by McLaren Gully Road and Big Stone Road, was identified by the City Council as a potential landfill almost 30 years ago. In Dunedin, the South Today.
After the break on the South Today, a famous piece of rugby history is returning to the South and more winter weather's on the way. Hea koko ake nei.
الرحمن الرحيم مؤمن المهيمن العزيز الجبار المتكبر.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Step into Shop on Carrot and discover a shop full of treasures. We have a fantastic range of vintage and retro clothes, upmarket clothing labels, collectible items, beautiful jewellery, quality linen and the best range of vintage haberdashery.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Hi, Alex Campbell Menswear. We're back in George Street on the corner of Hanover Street. Come and check out our big store. It's a big space full of bargains. Now look at these shirts. There's shirts for everybody here. Look at these MERINO pullovers, stacks of moleskins, literally tons of trousers. Check out these big racks of sports jackets. Beautiful.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
So come and check out Alex Campbell Menswear. We're back on George Street in the old ANZ building.
Ah, TV, our favourite babysitter. But it can be tough keeping up with what our tamariki are watching. Luckily, the Broadcasting Standards Authority has made some smart changes to the classification labels. Ooh! Plus changes to the time of day certain rated shows will air and awesome new parental lock features, meaning your babysitter's job is safe. Find out more at safeviewing.co.nz.
Inside are all sorts of innovations from all over China.
No mai no, welcome back. The Otago rugby team flew home this morning after claiming the Ranfurly Shield from Taranaki on Sunday. There were plenty of supporters waiting for them as they got off the plane at Momona.
Rugby fans were waiting at Dunedin Airport to greet the Otago team after they won the Ranfurly Shield by defeating Taranaki 30-19 on Sunday. Team captain Michael Collins was happy to share the shield with the team's supporters. Among the crowd were Hunter Hathaway and Matthew Childs from Balmacuen Intermediate.
And did you watch the game?
Yeah, I did. I went down to the pub with my dad and watched it.
And what do you think?
Oh, it was a great performance and the best player was Josh Ioane.
And what's it like to be part of a team that takes the Ranfurly Shield? We've done it before, but it's always special.
Yeah, no, that's mate. It's, yeah, well, you can see my team come out. So thanks for coming, guys. Really appreciate it. Boys, enough come back to the support. So it's awesome.
Now having won the Ranfurly Shield, the team will have to defend it against Hawke's Bay on Sunday at the Forsyth Bar Stadium. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Shield, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you at Forsyth Bar Stadium on Sunday if we can get...
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. Snow has closed roads and grounded flights across the south, but is providing some school holiday fun for families. Labour Party leader Jacinda Ardern wasn't put off by the late winter blast, though promising help for Tiwai Point if re-elected. And from the Jurassic period to present day, a new Otago Museum show opens ahead of schedule with exhibits ready to roar. Now for a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT, we have Craig Page with us this evening. Kia ora, Craig.
Good evening. Yeah, busy old Monday really, lots happening around the region, much of what you've had on this evening actually. The weather of course, that's been a big factor, everyone's talking about that. We've had a bit of a look through Central where it's been particularly bad, talked to some farmers who, they're due to start lambing and a little bit nervous about it. The only bonus for them is that they did get plenty of warning. They're praising the Met Service for the early warning, the chance to get the stock a bit closer to the home farm. And we'll have an update tonight as well with whether we're expecting a bit more over the next 24 hours really. They talked about sea level to Dunedin. We didn't quite get that, but we do have some spectacular photos of some snow on Stewart Island, so you don't get much more sea level than that. So yeah, we'll have updates throughout the night as well on our website in terms of the forecast. We're also caught up with the Prime Minister as well down in Invercargill, talking to Rio Tinto today. We've got a reaction from them. They're a little bit guarded about it, of course. Said they're happy to have discussions. Of course, they've already said that they're ready to shut up shop, and because of power prices. Government saying they might be able to move on that, but they've got some things they want in place as well in terms of the company maintaining the current employment levels and working with the government when it over the future use of the plant as well. So yeah, some interesting conversations to be had over there in coming weeks as well. We've got on our travel pages, we continue our local theme because you can't go much further at the moment, but we traverse the Kepler track in Fiordland. It's one of New Zealand's great walks. Pretty spectacular place and a lovely story and some nice photos to go with that, so it's well worth the effort if you get the time. And of course Ranfurly Shield as well, we're looking at that as well. Back spectacular performance from our boys yesterday. So we're talking to some businesses who are pretty excited about the prospect of having a home game or a defence here on Sunday. Encouraging people from outside of Dunedin maybe to come to the city for the weekend and spend a bit of money, some beer and food. So and of course it'd be nice to get Forsyth Bar Stadium opening its doors again and getting a decent crowd, and it's been a while since we've had that, so it'd be good to get along and support it.
Yeah, great, Craig, thank you.
Thank you.
And now time for a look at the weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Beginning with the city view, family fun on Mount Cargill. Looking at the situation, winter's back. Another bitterly cold day tomorrow with widespread snow and hail showers to low levels and wind often gale force about the coast. Weather should ease late in the day and clear tomorrow night with fine frosty weather expected on Wednesday. It's cold down south, 6 degrees for all, the Catlins, Balclutha, Lumsden and Gore, but snow clearing with decreasing southwesterlies. Snow clearing and southwesterlies in central Otago too, winds decreasing in Te Anau and gusty everywhere else. Queenstown's on 4, Wanaka's on 5 and Alexandra and Te Anau are on 6 degrees. To the northern towns, on the coast, Timaru and Oamaru have strong westerlies and hail, on 8 and 7 degrees. Inland, lighter winds and snow clearing, but only 6 degrees for Twizel and Omarama. In Dunedin, it's mostly cloudy tonight and tomorrow with squally showers, some with hail, sleet and snow. It's very cold with blustery southwest winds, often gale force. Showers clear tomorrow night, 1 tonight, while tomorrow reaches 6 degrees with a low of 0. Mostly fine and sunny on Wednesday, with cold southwesterlies dying out, but rug up Wednesday night, a high of 11 and a low of -3 degrees. And in Invercargill, very similar to Dunedin's forecast. Cloud showers with hail and sleet and blustery southwest winds tonight and tomorrow. Those showers clearing tomorrow night as well. 2 degrees tonight, tomorrow is 7 and -1. Clearing properly on Wednesday, warmer in the day and colder at night, a high of 12 and a low of -2 degrees. And that's the news this Monday. For the latest news from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz or follow Channel 39 on Facebook and YouTube. Nō reira, kia pai te pō, ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.